Vlad. Joining me now is CNN senior military analyst Admiral James Stavridis. He's a former NATO Supreme Allied Commander and partner at the Carlyle Group, a global investment firm. He's also the author of the novel The Restless Wave. Admiral, thanks so much for being here with us. Talking about Pakistan and India, both nuclear powers, as Nick and Matthew laid out, they have been in conflict for generations. But how precarious was this moment?
I think this was a significant moment of danger, but you're absolutely right, Jessica, to draw a line under really 50 years of back and forth, 3 almost full-scale wars, just short of nuclear engagement, and then at least half a dozen quite significant exchanges of fire really over the last 10 to 15 years. So this has always been a global flashpoint. We don't talk about it perhaps as much as we should, particularly given, as you point out, the nuclear weapons that are potentially involved. But what we ought to have clear in our minds is that this was a dangerous situation, but it was a good day for diplomacy, and credit to the Trump administration leaning in. That's what a nation like the United States should do in trying to bring about what hopefully will remain quiet at the top of the world.
And it's interesting because just a few days ago, Vice President J.D. Vance had said that the conflict was none of our business. And yet that changed quite dramatically. To your point, the U.S. really stepping in, as Nick and Matthew were reporting as well. What do you think kind of changed their minds?
Probably 2 things were significant. Number one, I think correctly they were watching on the split screen Russia and China drawing closer and closer together, President Xi in Moscow. And I think for the U.S. being engaged in smart ways with India, another global superpower, is critical and important. And I think that helped the light go on. And then secondly, reporting from the region, particularly the bellicose rhetoric out of both sides, India and Pakistan, jarred the administration into realizing that if this thing escalated, God forbid, to the level of a nuclear exchange, the economic impact globally would be significant. I think for both those reasons, Marco Rubio was deployed, and I think he did a good job by all accounts in bringing this thing to closure, at least for the moment.
I also want to get your take on what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, with the European leaders coming together with the support of President Trump to give Vladimir Putin this ultimatum that he agree to this 30-day ceasefire starting Monday or face massive sanctions. How do you see that playing out, and do you agree that this could be the most pivotal move that we've seen so far?
I think it's the best chance for diplomacy that I've seen in 2.5 years of watching this war very closely. So that's encouraging. And by the way, Jessica, you and I are often together on the weekends, and it's always bad news, bad news, bad news. Here we are with some good news, India, Pakistan, and I think some good news here. There are 3 reasons what's happening on that screenshot you're showing are good. Number one is it brings real hope to the Ukrainians to see that kind of European muscle behind them. Number 2, this is a moment for Europe to come together. Those 4 countries, Poland, UK, France, and Germany, represent a significant part of the world's GDP and real military capability, including nuclear. And third and finally, this is a good moment for the Trump administration. It was Team Trump that proposed this 30-day ceasefire. Now you see the Europeans getting strongly behind it. You see the U.S. behind it. We have the mineral deal with Ukraine. I think Putin's little chances are getting worse and worse as the days go on here. That's good for diplomacy.
And so what do you, I mean, it's anybody's guess how Putin will respond to this, but what will you be watching for?
He will bluster about it. He will deploy more, they call them nuances. They're actually extremely significant demands. An example would be his team is saying, oh, well, we could do the 30-day ceasefire as long as no weapons would go into Ukraine. Well, that's a nonsense demand. It's like telling a boxer in the ring he's not allowed to raise his arms over his waist. The weapons have to continue to flow. I think you'll see Putin continue to demand that he be recognized in complete control of 20% of Ukraine. That's probably negotiable, but his other demand will be for relief from sanctions. And that, I think, is going to be a tough one to end up in a negotiation. So bottom line, Jessica, I'll be watching Russian reaction on negotiations over sanctions, on flow of weapons to Ukraine, and of NATO membership for Ukraine. Those will be the key demands on the Russian side. But again, I feel like this could be the moment where Putin has to stop the rope-a-dope, stop kind of dragging everybody along, and come to a negotiating table. Let's start with a 30-day ceasefire and see where it goes.
All right, we're going to see. Admiral James Stavridis, we really appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Jessica.